In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use tiles to make maps. And they're generally fairly simplistic because the tiles have some limitations. We're going to start with the Wizard of the Coast tiles. You can download these, you can scan them, you can buy them off Amazon and scan them in. I've downloaded some, I've scanned a few in. As long as they're all 50 by 50 pixels, they're fine. I'm going to start with some simple things like we'll do a pretty large floor tile here. And you'll see by the grid that it matches up just perfectly. And then we'll grab a token from the default area. And we'll pick an elf. And we'll lay that on our tile. It'll be a PC. We'll call him player 1. We'll give him some dark vision. And maps, fog of war. And we'll make it nighttime. And you'll see that we have some vision blocking issues. So we'll go in here to vision blocking. Tutorials tell you to block everything off first. And then we carve it out. And we'll change it to expose currently visible. And there's a simple tile with a single player moving around, no big deal. We'll make this a little more interesting. We'll go back to our tiles. And we'll add a pit. And what else? Ooh, some water. Some sort of water fountain. I'll show you how to use a pre-built one here in a second. Well, toward the end of the module. There's some cool ones. And so we'll go ahead and, oh, we didn't do a door. Let's find a door-ish thing here. One that's half open. No scening. Okay, let's go down to the other one I like, which is Halls of the Giants. Here's some double doors. I like the double doors. Ooh, a throne. I like thrones too. Okay, so there's a fairly good mix of tiles that is kind of scavenged. And we'll put those to use here. And so go back up here to the dungeon tiles because these are pretty standard here. And we'll put some off to the right here. And we'll put a pit on top of it. Notice the pit disappeared. The pit is actually underneath the floor tile. So I'm going to right click on this and send the floor tiles to the back, which brings the pit to the front so you can see it now. We will copy that and paste it down here to make it a little bigger. And we'll put the pool of water in here. And we'll put this pool up here. And this pool over there, same thing, send this to back. And we're just kind of throwing some stuff in. And we'll make a hallway here. I'm going to hold the shift key down and move the mouse wheel, and that rotates it. And by the way, if you hold the shift and control key down, you can rotate it very finely. Not very useful for tiles, but it can be for decorations or placeable objects. But for tiles, not generally so useful. Okay, so go back, turn the fog of war back on, and obviously I need to update my vision blocking because I added a bunch of stuff to it. So, and we'll carve all that out again. Okay. dark vision. Again, fairly simplistic. It's working well. If I want to make it so I can't see through those doors perfectly, we can add more vision blocking. And that's all the player can see. I like to make the background black because the grass is a little, I don't know, this doesn't seem quite right for an underground map. So background, just make it black. You might want to make it a gray, but we'll make it black, and we'll make the fog kind of a gray. Okay. So that works out well. And very simple. Now we're going to go back over to our outdoor area. So here I just, this is a tile preset, and if you want to make the background match that, you can. There are some tiles that use grass. All you need to do with this one is add the vision blocking in. It's pretty simplistic. I use this square thing, and you basically draw some squares. Well, we're not going to draw squares, so just, we can draw a few squares. No, we're going to have to use the multi-line thing. So hold the control key down so we're on the grid. So we're going to have to not quite grid everything, but get close. There was a window there. I like to see what I'm actually doing too, so let's grab this guy, stick him in there. Oh, I see what happened. I need to turn all that off. So unvision block the whole area. And now we can put it back in. Actually, those don't line up very well, do they? Well, so we're going to have to do it without the control key. Makes it harder, but it's not too big a deal. We're just going to split the difference here. Won't be as precise, but most of your players will never know the difference. It doesn't take that much longer. So I'm basically left-clicking, right-clicking, right-clicking, left-clicking. We'll go back to our player, and there we go. You can see out the windows, you can see out the doors. You can go into a little tiny room and see inside the room. Go back over here. Very simple. If you do corridors, there's another technique I like to use. Oops. So I'll make a corridor off here. And what you can do is, let's see, we'll do vision blocking. And we'll carve. Make sure you can't see that. You can actually make the vision blocking include the black area or the walls, so the player has a better feel for how wide the hallway really is. The only disadvantage here, and I'll show you that here in a second. Let's go grab some nasty little token. How about a wolf? Let's take a wolf in there. Is when the player comes around the corner, he can see the wolf. He shouldn't be able to see the wolf. To fix this, you just grab your vision blocking and you draw a line on the corner like that. And now you can't see the wolf, but you can still see the walls. This works particularly well if you're using a texture. When it's black, it's not that big a deal. Come up here and look, I can see the wolf. So that's how you make a dungeon very quickly out of tiles. You can do outdoor as well, but the outdoor isn't quite as nice. So let's make a new map. Outdoor. Dragging these tiles in isn't quite as interesting. Let's find a bigger one. That's one not too bad. I don't generally like making the outdoors with tiles. You're better off using a repeated texture, because you can tell this would take you a long time to make an outdoor tile like this, or an outdoor map like this. But you can cheat a little bit. You can go to map, edit map, and do a background of a texture, and go find that one. What's with the coast token files, and it's the outdoor ones. So like you can do this one, and it doesn't turn out too bad. I'm going to stick with that actually. And it was the ruins. Yeah, it was this one here I was using, I think. And you can add these in, and that works out pretty well. You can hardly even tell there's a tile there. Obviously, you wouldn't use vision blocking on an outdoor map. You could, but I don't generally. And you can add roads. Not bad at all, actually. This works out pretty well. A little more complicated, but not overly difficult. We could actually use vision blocking for this one, if you wanted to. There's vision blocking. Oh, I want to show you some more things here on the indoor one we have. Let's say we have this pit trap here. And right now the player can see the pit trap. But if you go into the pit trap and you right click on it and say not visible to players, view shows player, you'll notice the player doesn't actually see the pit trap. Now you can do this using the hidden layer, but for the tiles I don't usually bother on this item for this. But as he gets close to the pit, as he finds it, searches for it, or falls into it, the dungeon master can say visible to players. And now the poor elf realizes he fell into the pit. You can do that with there's some other tiles that kind of have that type of feel to it as well. For example, the arcane corridor section, you have these lightning areas. So let's say that oops, this is a background. Let's say there was a lightning there, like a lightning trap. So we'll put it down this way instead. Basically, you would right click on that and say not visible to players, view shows player, and as a player comes around the corner, he sees nothing's wrong, and he triggers a trap. You go back in as a dungeon master, grab that, right click on it and say visible to players. And now the player realizes that he stumbled onto a trap. So that's a really cool way to put your traps in there.